why is everybody talking about this now? It goes back, we're just going to go back a couple years here to 2020. Candace Owens in 2020 created a stir. She had tweeted out, "I wonder if we're past the point of reconciliation with the left. Maybe we'd all be better or happier letting them pick a few states they can turn into their own country with no guns, no police, no statues, no genders, no flags, no men, and no electricity." I have to agree with Candace. That's what I picture. A blue state left to their own devices. I mean, I love Candace. I love that woman. She's usually spot on with how I'm thinking about things. But let's move on. Ted Cruz made a famous statement in 2022. Senator Cruz from Texas. He said specifically about Texas, because Texas has always been in kind of the middle of these secession talks.
Well, Texas, their big claim to fame is, that they can just do it on their own. They're always,
and I believe
they don't need anyone else.
Yes. I believe they can. They've got the oil. They've got the ports.
And they're bigger. Texas is bigger than most countries in Europe.
That's right. That's right. So they may be onto something there. But Ted Cruz said Texas could take its oil, NASA, and go its own way. So in essence, what we just said.
Yep.
And then most recently, Marjorie Taylor Greene, MTG.
MTG.
I like her too. I mean, she's a little firecracker, but everybody's familiar with what she said. Where it's time, maybe to. Do I have that down here?
Yeah. It's at the very bottom.
Very bottom. Okay. Okay. So she called for a national divorce on February 21st tweet, which made the libs' heads explode. Why the left and right should consider a national divorce not a civil war, but a legal agreement to separate our ideological and political disagreements by states while maintaining our legal union. She added a national divorce would require a much smaller federal government with more power given to the states. That, once we button this all up, is probably the solution. But we'll get back to that. Did I miss anything up here, Craig?
Nope.
Important?
Nope, we're good.
All right, so there are some talking heads, some senators, some important people that may have brought this up over the last 3 years, and here we are to talk about what a breakup might look like.
But there's always been a fair amount of what I would call public support, sometimes small, sometimes big. Well, in July, here, let me pull this up here.
This is a good segue right there, Craig.
So, in July of 2021, the University of Virginia, let me pull this up bigger. The University of Virginia, 41% of Biden supporters as well as 52% of Trump voters were at least somewhat in agreement with the idea that it's time to split the country, favoring blue and red states seceding from the Union. Now, I don't know if you can really see that. There's a lot going on with that map, but basically what you want to kind of look at is these were the different regions that they kind of created polling from.
Now, what I see here, Craig, is yes, the South is heavy on the red,
yes,
wanting to succeed. The coastal West is heavy on the blues, wanting to break away. We've always heard of the California, Oregon, Washington states being their own thing.
Yep.
And then basically everywhere else is kind of in the same percentages.
Yep, and then there's an overall percentage by the time you adjust both those populations. So like in the you got the southeast over there, 66% of Republicans and 50% of
the purples,
independents and stuff. But those are of those voting blocks. The net population percentage would have been the number that's kind of spiked out. That's 44%. But you got the Pacific 39%, Mountains 32%, Heartland 30%, and Northeast is 34%.
So when this poll was taken, what was the percentages as a whole for the whole country?
Well, this is where they got 41% of Biden supporters and 52% of Trump supporters.
So that's quick math. If we take as a given that it's 50-50 split between Trump and Biden, we're somewhere right around 46% of Americans at that point.
And keep in mind, that's 2021. Just a year earlier, it was 35%. So it's growing. And In 2022, a poll showed that 50% of Americans.
50% of Americans, this is kind of a sidebar, but they expect a civil war.
Well, that's true. That's not necessarily supporting it, but
but it's in their mind.
But it's in their mind.
It's something that they're concerned about. So that is a snippet right there of 3 different polls that kind of show the temperament or where people's minds are when it comes to national divorce or where are we headed as a nation.
I hope you've enjoyed this clip from the Craig's Gun Channel Random Shots program. The program airs Thursdays at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. On Random Shots, we discuss content from ranging anything from preparedness, survival, politics, firearms, basically anything that's 2A related, with sometimes some rabbit trails on things that aren't related at all. If you enjoy this type of programming, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you're notified when we release new content. And if you like it, hit the like button and share us if you would as well. It helps the algorithm and helps the channel grow and helps get our message out. So I guess until next time, stay safe.